Hi, I'm going to talk to you about epoxy. When you're gluing granite and want a permanent bond, you should use epoxy. Other glues just do not absorb into the silica substrate of granite, and while they may be used for structural applications, they can also lose their bond to the stone for no apparent reason, causing failure. This can be a problem when something falls to the floor, especially if your toes are there. Epoxy, also known in the stone industry as AB, consists of two parts. Part A is a resin and part B is a hardener. The ratios can vary from 1 to 1 to as much as 5 to 1, but if you're using a glue that is 30 to 1, it is not an epoxy. And although there are other two-part glues like polyester resin, cyanoacrylates, and even some urethanes, as a rule, epoxy is much stronger than other glues. Epoxy comes in different viscosities for different applications. The three viscosities used in stone industry are flowing, knife grade, and penetrating. Here's an example of flowing. A flowing epoxy is the consistency of syrup. Knife grade is the consistency of warm peanut butter, like that. And penetrating is the consistency of water. While some of the applications for these will overlap, here are some general guidelines to go by. If you're doing a lamination, you should use a flowing epoxy. While you could use knife grade here, there's a much greater chance that you'll end up with little air pockets on the visible parts of the lamination seam, which you'll just have to fill in later. All of our customers that laminate granite use a flowing glue for laminations. Flowing epoxy can also be used in almost all horizontal applications, like laminations or fills. Our flowing epoxies are all transparent, and by that I mean you could read a newspaper through them once they're dry. If you're working on an uneven surface, a horizontal or an angled surface, or you're doing a chip repair, you can also use a knife grade glue. In fact, they'd be best for these applications. The best advantage of knife grade glues, since they're thicker, they pretty much stay where you put them. If you're working on an uneven surface, a horizontal or an angled surface, or you're doing a chip repair, you can use knife grade glues. The best advantage of this glue is that it'll pretty much stay where you put it. If you're working on a vertical application and you use a flowing epoxy, gravity's going to work and it's just going to run off the wall, where the knife grade will pretty much stay there. The thickening agent used in knife grade epoxy to make a flowing epoxy into a knife grade varies from Cavasil to ash, but in any case, it does not dry transparent as all the flowing epoxies we carry do. It may dry translucent, but in the best case, it will dry a clear white. Think of looking through an ice cube that's suspended in a glass of drinking water. Now, if you have a crack in a stone and it's too narrow to get either knife grade or flowing epoxy into, you can use a penetrating epoxy. This glue will seep into a hairline crack, binding everything it touches on the way through it and down and into the stone. This glue will never get rock hard. It always maintains some elastomeric quality to it so that it will move when the stone has deflection in order to help prevent the stone from breaking again. This is important as any time a stone has been cracked or cut into, it's been weakened. Most do-it-yourselfers use knife grade. It is easy and user-friendly. If fast setting is preferred, we sell a fast setting mercaptan epoxy that dries in less than 30 minutes and will not stick to polished surfaces. Thank you very much for watching this. That's pretty much the A's and B's of epoxy. If you have any questions, you can call or email us.